Good afternoon, everybody. Let's see if we can make sure we are linked up via Zoom and via Facebook. Let's see if we can get this thing going here. A little bit of lag on the internet today, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So if you guys can do me a favor, if you can see and hear me well, give me a +1 in the chat. Let me know. So if you guys can do me a favor, if you can see and hear. Okay. It looks like we are coming in here. Okay, great. As people are hopping on, thank you so much for giving me the thumbs up. Awesome. Yes, guys. And don't forget, that was Lily. Thank you so much for letting me know. Smash that like button and smash that heart button for me if you don't mind, because what it'll do is it'll tell Facebook that people are engaging and it'll send this training out to other people that are in the group because we want to help as many people as possible. That's my mission here with you guys. Want to kind of be the light, the beacon to show you guys kind of the way of commercial if you haven't already figured it out yet. Okay, so today's training is going to be a fun one, right? Oftentimes what we found, right, is the hardest part about getting started is taking that first step, closing that first transaction, finding that first client, right? So we're going to look at different ways that we can go about tapping the network that you already have in order to get your first commercial transaction under your belt. Okay, so we're just going to allow a few more people to hop on. And by the way, guys, go ahead and let me know where you're coming in from, what your state and submarket is. So I see we got Lily here from Miami. Vladimir, where are you coming in from? I've seen you on some of the lives before. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So it's good to see you here. Whoever is just hopping on right now, let me know where you're coming in from, because it helps to put these things into context. I usually explain to people kind of what the different states are earning and stuff like that. Ryan Tennyson coming in from California. Lisa Gonzalez from Miami. Awesome. Okay, welcome. Thanks, guys. If it's helpful, I don't have my book with me today, but I promise I will have it for you guys next week. It's been a little bit of a crazy time. I am currently on crutches, so can't be all that mobile and haven't been in front of my office desk. But I see Debbie's coming in from Southern California, from Los Angeles. Welcome back, Debbie. Good to see you. Also, we got, okay, California. Awesome. So the California folks, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm a little envious of, because you guys are #2 in the nation, second only to Hawaii in terms of the size of your transactions. The average transaction is $2.8 million in California, the average commercial transaction, right? Nationwide, it's 1.6. Here in Florida, I believe it's 1.9. Got to double check it because it does change from time to time, because we are getting a flood of people from the Northeast coming down here and investing. But last I checked, it was like either 1.6 or 1.9, but also, you know, decent sized transactions. So yeah, so we got a bunch of Florida folks here. We've got a bunch of California folks here. The point of me asking that is I want to show you guys, you know, if you had a set goal, you know, at 2.8 million, I have it memorized by now. It's an $84,000 transaction at 3%. Okay. So if your goal for next year's earnings was, let's say, I don't know, $165,000, guess what? 2 average commercial transactions in the state of California would be all it would take for you to hit your financial goal. You know, if it was 300, let's say, that's 4 transactions. That's not a lot of money. I should say it's not a lot of transactions, because the transaction sizes on average in a state like California is good size. Here in Florida, it's no slouch. You know, I think at the $1.6 million mark, it's a $48,000 transaction. So if you had a $200,000 goal next year, 4 average size transactions. You know, so it's not far-fetched, you know, for you to hit decent size goals. And if you just added 1 or 2 transactions to the residential business you already have currently, you know, having commercial to add on is a very nice little kind of an alternative or an option, or I like it to call like another tool in your tool belt, right? Okay. So guys, so without further ado, we're going to get to the training. And as I mentioned before, today's training is to show you kind of how you can utilize your current network, you know, because the hardest deal is always going to be the first one, the first transaction, the first client, the first closing, right? Is always the hardest one. Once you get the feel for it, then number 1, you start having a mind shift, right? Your mind starts saying, wait a minute, I'm not just a residential agent, I'm also a commercial agent. So having you think and believe that is very important, you know, so for your mindset, it's important. And then also you get to, now that you know the process from A to Z, then the next time you can do it just a little bit better and a little bit better, and so on and so forth, right? So this is to help you guys, how to show you how to get either your first or your next transaction on the commercial side, utilizing the network that you already have. So no cold calls involved here, none of that business. Not saying that to reach the top levels of earnings in commercial, you don't have to do that, because that would be an outright inaccuracy. But I will say, in order for you to just get those 1, 2, 3 transactions a year, then you would just need, you'd be able to reach into the network you already have and pull just a few people there. Yeah. Okay, I see Luis is coming in from Miami. Welcome. That's my home city. Let's see who else came in here. Brian. Oh, hey, Brian, how are you? Coming in from Queens, New York. Awesome. So we've got a bunch of folks on here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see if we can't do this. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share this. All right, and then we're going to go here. Okay. All right, guys, just do me a favor and let me know if you can see what it says, where it says weekly call 7/26/21. I'm just going to pull up Facebook real quick on my phone, make sure that we are good. And I just want to make sure that this is going through. So hang on one second, please. Technology. It's absolutely awesome. Okay, cool. I see we're good. All right. Rock and roll. All right. So folks, here we have, again, how to get your first commercial transaction, or if you've already closed some commercial transactions, how to get your next one. My idea is to have you guys learn how to reach into the group of people that you already know. Even though that the circle of people that you don't know is far larger than the circle of people that you do know, the people that you do know already know, like, and trust you. So the question is, how do we leverage that in the beginning to get you kind of get you jump started in order to get these transactions under your belt. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So again, what we're going to cover, like I mentioned before, this is about, you taking your first step. Okay. And oftentimes people, the most common theme that I hear from people, and I speak to hundreds of residential agents a year, is that there's fear. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know, right? They fear making a mistake, and maybe perhaps there being some liability for either themselves or their broker. Sometimes they fear looking like they don't know what they're doing. They might be a little embarrassed because they might not know all the terminology and so forth. So that's why I always, in the beginning, recommend reaching out to people who already know you, because if they know you from the residential side, they'll be a little bit more understanding if they understand that this is kind of a newer venture for you. And if you make a mistake, it's not that big a deal, because they already know, like, and trust you. You've already probably done work with them, or maybe they're a past client, maybe they're someone from your church, or someone from the kids' PTA, or someone from your softball team. They're going to be a little bit, because they're a warmer lead, they're going to be a little bit more understanding of you. Okay. So from there, if you can get over the first step and you can get over the fear, then my only question is, what's stopping you, right? As we discussed before, these transaction sizes can be quite large. So if you really think about it, just adding those 1 or 2 deals, not even a lot, just 1 or 2 deals a year. Just imagine what the impact that there might be for you by just adding, let's say, just 2 deals a year, 1 deal a year. It could be quite significant, right? So then the only question is what to do and when to do it, right? So that's what we're going to go over today. So the reason I recommend adding commercial on like another tool in your toolkit, right? I'm not saying throw out all your other tools and just do this exclusively, right? I think that would be brash, right? But I think it's great to have a solid plan, and most importantly, have a plan for a rainy day. If you guys do me a favor and tell me, type in the chat, right, how many years you've been in real estate. Okay, go ahead and pop that in there for me. I'm curious to see kind of what everybody's experience level is, because I want to get to a point with this, right? But what this does is this opens you up to a larger audience. Now that we have people here that are already know you for what you do, you can not only help them on the residential side, but you could also help them on the commercial side. Okay. On average, commercial transactions are larger. So depending on your state's average, in terms of the size of the residential commercial transactions are oftentimes 2, 3, 4 times the size of the residential. Okay, I see Brian Harris has been in 3 years. Okay, Ryan Tunnison, 10 months. Debbie Perkins, a year and a half. Luis has been in 18 years. Lisa, 21 years. Awesome. Lily's been in 2 years. Great. Okay. So the reason why I was asking that is because what I wanted to show you was you might have been in here for a couple of years. Maybe you had to refer some deals out because you weren't sure what to do before. But in the future, my only other question is going to be, how many more years are you guys planning to be in real estate for? And there's a reason why I'm asking you that, right? So, for instance, Luis, over 18 years of being an agent or a broker, I bet you've done a lot of transactions. You have a lot of people that you can call upon. Lisa, similarly, right? 21 years, right? All you other folks that have been there, let's say 2 to 5 years, I'm sure you have 15, 20, 30, 40 people that you can call and reach out to and see how you might be able to help them. And for those of you that haven't been in a super long time, don't worry about that, because as long as you've been on this earth, you've been roaming around, meeting people, interacting with other humans. So it might be a family member. It might, like I said, be someone from your kids' PTA, or from your church, or from your softball team, or from your bowling club, or whatever that might be, your favorite restaurant that you go to every Friday. These are all people that you interact with on a regular basis that you might be able to help on the commercial side. Okay. And finally, one of the benefits and the applications for learning how to sell commercial is to be a better service to your clients. So you have not only a larger audience, but you can offer more services to your client. So again, just out of curiosity, so Jared's been in for 20. He plans on being in for another 5 years. Great. Okay. So now take that average transaction, and then if let's say it's a $40,000 average transaction, and you're going to do 2 a year, that's $80,000 times 5 more years, right? Well, I'll tell you what, 80,000 times 5. I don't know. That sounds like what, another $400,000 on top of what you're already doing just for doing 2 commercial transactions a year. You see how the compound effect of this can really kick in. So just something to consider in your mind. It's not about what you earn this year or next year. It's from now, by learning how to do this skill, the lifetime impact that could have. That could be your retirement package all alone. So keep them coming in. So Lisa says 10 more years. Okay. Yeah. So think about it, Lisa. If you did 2 transactions here in Miami, average is 48,000. 2 transactions a year, that'd be 96,000 over 10 years. That's almost $1 million, right? So that just by adding 2 transactions a year, 1 every 6 months. Okay. So there is one caveat before we get into the actual training. I just want to remind you guys that if you are going to take on commercial transactions, it's important that you have guidance along the way. And what does that mean? That could be a team member. You might be in a big, let's say, KW office, and maybe you team up with somebody from the KW commercial side, right? Maybe there's a broker on the other side of town that you've been referring jobs out, or transactions or requirements out to, and then maybe he or she will be kind enough to allow you to look over their shoulder, right? Maybe it's your broker. Maybe your broker has some experience in the commercial realm, or maybe you look for a mentor, maybe whether it's locally or nationally, or a training program, some place where you can go to learn these skills. But no matter what you do, I wouldn't recommend. Just like you wouldn't recommend a 16-year-old like hop in the car and just start driving down I-95 or across I-10 or whatever across country. You wouldn't do that, right? So similarly, you wouldn't do that with a commercial. Maybe you go to a driver's ed, and then you learn the basic skills so that you can get on the highway and get up to speed. Okay. So what I explained, just like that old movie that what was his name? Oh God, I can picture his face. He was in Dances with Wolves. Kevin Costner. There it is. He did that movie Field of Dreams, and they said, if you build it, they will come, right? So the reason how this ties into today is I fully believe if you start taking steps in the right direction, some people say put it out into the universe, whatever you want to call it. Some people don't believe in the woo-woo. I kind of do, kind of don't. But all I know is if you never consider it and never start doing anything, you're guaranteeing that you'll never move in that direction. But if you do start making steps in this direction, opportunities will present themselves. I promise you, it's uncanny, right? So step one is brand yourself in commercial as far as what they call, getting your name out there. And I have a checklist, a complete checklist, that we're going to go through. It's a 14-point checklist. And as part of the coaching program, one of the very first steps in my coaching program is that we take you through, these are the 14 steps to do to start branding yourself as a commercial agent, right? So step one is you get your name out there. Step two is you find a requirement, you figure out the best way to fulfill it, whether it's a lease or a sale or a buyer, right? And then you fulfill the requirement. And then once you get done with that, then you send proof of it via a just sold flyer, just leased flyer, under contract flyer, whatever it is, to your sphere of influence and your peers. And then you rinse, wash, and repeat. Because think about it. You told everybody that you're in commercial. You went and you go do a commercial transaction. Then you tell everybody that you closed another commercial transaction, and then you do it over and over and over again. And slowly, people's perceptions of you start changing to the point where they're like, oh, that's that commercial agent across town. I think they also sell houses too, but right. So guys, give me a +1 in the chat if that makes sense to you guys, right? So you go around and get your name out there. You find a requirement, you fill it, you send proof of the fact that you fulfilled that requirement, and then you do it over and over again. And it's like a snowball going down a hill, right? Okay, so from there, these are where I recommend, this is a 14-point list that I recommend you guys. These are the easiest, fastest, highest leverage ways of you getting your name out there, okay? Number one, LinkedIn profile page, right? Your LinkedIn profile is so powerful. Why? Because hopefully since LinkedIn started, I don't know, 15 years ago, you guys have been, hopefully interacting a little bit, somewhat. I would be a little bit more intentional. Not that you have to post every day. That's not what I'm saying, but make sure your profile is polished up and explains exactly who you are, exactly what you do, and exactly who you help, okay? Also, very first thing at the top of your LinkedIn profile, make sure your name, your phone number, and your email address are the first 3 things people see, okay? So you're obviously gonna have your title, phone number, email address. So that way, if somebody stumbles across you online on LinkedIn, the very first thing they can do is they can get a hold of you at an instant. If you're trying to use LinkedIn Messenger, sometimes you can get them, sometimes you won't, you'll never see it. But a phone number or an email address, that's going to get to you, right? The next thing I'll say is when you're getting your name out there, make sure you change your email signature. A lot of marketing is all about perceptions. What you're trying to do is you're trying to just shift someone's perception of you. So rather than being, I'm just a residential agent, I am a residential agent as well as a commercial agent, okay? So you're just trying to shift someone's perspective of you. Facebook, right? A lot of residential agents very proficiently utilize Facebook to put out their properties. I have a lot of my students, what they do is they have open houses, they'll have just sold. It's a great way of just reminding everybody nice and gently, hey guys, I'm in the business, hey, I'm doing business, and when the time comes for you to sell your home, why don't you come see me, right? It's a really, really nice, really, really subtle way. So your Facebook profile, shoot something out there, create a message, whatever it takes. Whenever you're trying to get things off the ground, the people you should lean on are the people that already know you, right? So Facebook is a perfect way of doing that because a lot of people use it for personal and for business. So it's a great way to kind of mix the two. Fourth one, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Yes. People still give out business cards. I know a lot of my younger students are like, well, really? Isn't that like kind of like old hat? Yes, it is old hat. But I will say this, because it's something physical and tangible, right? It costs you $20 to make 500 of them, right? I can't tell you how many times I reach into my suit pocket and I pulled out a card. I'm like, oh yeah, Charlie Barnes or whatever, oh, Derek, Montoya, whatever. I see this person's name and I had forgotten about them, but because there's a tangible piece of paper somewhere, they're reminded. You have your, who you are, what you do, and your contact information. It's very, very powerful. So a lot of people don't throw them out. They'll put them in a desk, they'll put them in a drawer, and one day they're going to come across it. It's a great way of you physically staying in someone's path, right? Next, I would say call all your previous clients. I don't care whether it's 2 or 200. Just ring them up and be like, hey, Bob, how are you? How are Susie and the kids? Great. Hey, just wanted to let you know, if you can do me a favor, my team is now handling commercial transactions as well. So if you can do me a favor, if you know of anybody that might be on the market for commercial space, or whether they're looking to buy, they're looking to sell, can you keep me in mind? Can you let me know? I'd appreciate it. By the way, Bob, say hi to Susie and the kids for me. Okay, good to talk to you. Very simple, 30-second conversation. You do that to 100 of your previous clients or people that you know in your sphere of influence. Guess what? You are going to uncover something, okay? Also reach out to your sphere of influence. That's the next step. So sphere of influence, who is that? That's everybody you know. Everybody that comes into contact with you somewhere or another throughout your life, okay? So again, I always say, PTA, it could be your church, your synagogue, your mosque, whatever that might be. It could be your softball team, your hairdresser, your local pizzeria, your favorite restaurant. It could be wherever you spend time and wherever you go outside of your work environment, okay? Finally, not only Facebook posts, but also social media, right? Instagram, that's a good one. A lot of people are leveraging. I don't really use it as much because I'm not much of an Instagram user, but for those agents that already have a presence there, I would absolutely leverage that there, okay? As well as email, broadcast, and drip campaigns. Those are by far one of the best investments I've ever made. I send about 1 million emails a year, about 80,000 a month, and they have borne so much fruit for me because not only when you send them, you know, it's one thing, you get to ping people, you get to remind them, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've closed, this is what I have on the market, this just went under contract, whatever. But you also get to see who opens it, who interacts with it, and then you can call them directly. So it's very, very powerful. And for $100 bucks a month, you can keep in regular contact with 10,000 people. It's the way to go, okay? Also, you can create a monthly newsletter, right? And you can send that out by email. You could do a market report and explain, you know, as long as you're bringing value, this is the thing that someone wants to hear, okay? For those of you, do me a favor, just type +1 if you do regular email campaigns and +2 if you do not. Just out of curiosity, I want to see what people are doing at this point, right? Next, I would say reach out to let everyone in your office know what you're doing, you know, that you are adding on commercial and that you're looking to add commercial transactions on. Just out of curiosity, right? This next one might apply to some and might not apply to others. Okay, so I see Lily's got it, Brian's got it. Okay, Lily's working on it. Okay, Brian is to Luis. I would say, guys, definitely consider email drip campaigns. It's so simple to set up. Once you get the system in place, it's very easy to keep going. And you can even have your first 2,000 subscribers on MailChimp are free, you know? So that's where I started. That's the software that I use, and I would highly recommend that because it's very, very helpful, okay? But for those of you, out of curiosity, do me a favor and type in the chat, how many agents are in your office? There's a reason why I'm asking this, and I'll get back to it in just a second. Now that COVID is kind of going away, I don't know with this Delta variant, but we'll see. Networking, I'm sure, is going to start coming back, right? So the networking events and MLS board meetings, which is the next one, those are 2 ways that you can get a hold of people, reach out, get in front of them, interact with other agents. Brian's got 35 in his office. Awesome. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so Alan's got 4 in his. Luis, oh man, this is going to be gold for you, okay, buddy? So here's what we got, all right? For those of you that have, you know, in Brian's case, 35 agents, guess what? If you were to just, with 35 agents, not even, you know, Lisa's 300 or Luis's 300 plus, right? With 30 agents, if you just branded yourself to those 30 or 30, in this case, Brian's case, 35 agents, right? I'm the commercial guy, I'm the commercial guy, I'm the commercial guy. Guess what happens when they get into a transaction and they don't know what to do? They're going to refer it to the guy that keeps saying, hey, I'm the commercial guy. Hey, I'm the commercial guy. Or Debbie's got 50 in her company, right? If each one of those agents sent you 1 referral a year, okay? 35 referrals, last I checked, is 3 out of 4 weeks of the month. Think about that. 1 referral a week for 3 out of the 4 weeks a month. In Debbie's case, 50, that's 1 a week all year long, right? If you're just trying to close an extra 2 transactions, you would be remiss to not be marketing to the people inside your office, the ones that already know you. They already see you. They already see you at the water cooler and at events, and they see your name up on the leaderboard and whatnot. Okay, and so for Luis and for Lisa, you know, I would say, please, if you could just start branding just to your office alone with 300 plus agents, if they all sent you one a year, you're looking at one a day. All you'll be doing is sorting through. You'd never have to prospect in your life. I would be happy to. And the other thing is, when you prospect to those folks inside your office, let them know that you pay the best referrals in town. Whatever it is, if you have to give them 30%, 35%, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you why. Because finding a ready, willing, and able buyer, seller, or tenant is 2/3 of the effort in a commercial transaction. What does that mean? Even if you pay them a 33% commission, they are going to do 2/3 of the work for 1/3 of the pay. Guess who's getting the better end of that deal? Okay, see what I'm saying? So what I would highly, highly recommend is that you guys brand yourself to not only everyone in your sphere of influence, but especially to the agents in your company, because a lot of them they're going to be fearful. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to want to know, how do I do it? Well, I don't know. So-and-so down the hall from me, they say that they pay the best referrals in town, and for me to send all my commercial referrals there. Boom, you have instant clients like dripping right in your lap, okay? Trust me, that's a goodie. All right, so also when things start picking up again, we'll have real estate board meetings, right? So for those of you who are up for a challenge, who here's up for a challenge? Do me a favor and type the word challenge in the comments box. By the way, guys, if you see me asking you to engage all the time, there is a reason for it. Studies have shown the way the brain works and retains information, that if you just sit and listen, you're only going to absorb X amount. But if you listen, you interact, you're typing, you're seeing, you're hearing, all these things combined, you're going to have a much higher possibility of absorbing the information because you're engaged, right? Your focus isn't diverted. You're not texting something on the side. You're engaging in this conversation, right? Okay. Alan Cook says, not to be negative, but how do you separate yourself in a 300 plus office? Probably more than one commercial agent in 300. Of course, that's easy, Alan. Not negative at all. That's a very, very valid point, and thank you for bringing that up. You know why? Because you do it more and you do it better than everybody else. Very simple. Let's say there's 10 agents in that office. How many of them are sending referrals on a regular basis over and over and over again? I have been teaching drip campaigns for 4 years now, and very few people actually ever harness the power of it. You hit a button and you can reach out to 1,000 people at a time. You hit a button and you can reach out to 5,000. 10,000 people at a time. Do you have any idea how powerful that is, right? So at the end of the day, what you need to do, don't worry about being the best or this or that. You just need to be perceived as the most persistent. You just need to be the one that just shows up for work. I forget who it was. It was Woody Allen said, like, success is something like 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration, something to that effect, right? The point is, showing up is the majority of it. And if that means you sit there and you program out, one email a week saying, hey guys, don't forget me, I'm your commercial guy. Hey guys, here's a market survey about commercial stuff. By the way, I pay the best referrals in town. Hey guys, here's your monthly newsletter. I pay the best referrals in town. You tell those people over and over and over again, sooner or later, you're going to start getting referrals coming your way. And if you keep up with it and you're consistent and you're persistent, they will never stop so long as you keep it going. Once you get that handle cooking. True, I do that in my MLS public database emails when I get high profile listings. Absolutely. That's what I was telling you about like you put it out in front of people, you remind them who you are. The brain can only hold room for about one or two people or one or two items, when you're talking about, market share, mind share, right? If you think about fast food, right? It's always McDonald's and Burger King, right? You think about soft drinks, it's always Coke and Pepsi, right? You're not going to think about RC Cola, right? Why? Because Coke and Pepsi spend the most amount of money in budgeting, or in the biggest advertising budget, right? So those are the two that are always in front of you, right? Alan says, since I only have 4 in my office, I can reach out to other offices. Absolutely. No reason why not. You can reach, in fact, thank you, Alan. That's a really great point. You can reach out to other agents in your county, let's say, And there's nothing that says you can't reach out to those folks that are everybody in your MLS database and be like, hey guys, I'm the commercial guy. I pay the best referrals in town. I'm the commercial guy, best referrals in town. You make up a little market report, give them 4 bullet points of what's going on in the market. They'll be like, yeah, I'd like to do commercial, but that's just too much work. I'm just going to send it to that guy Alan across town. I keep getting his emails, and I might as well. I am literally a 3-person office. So it's me, an office manager, and an admin. And I promise you, people are like, oh yeah, Dark Horse. I get your emails all the time. I see your signs all over town. It's not because I'm a monster. It's just because I stay out in front of people actively. I know what are the levers to pull to get the most amount of leverage, to get as much exposure to the market as possible, right? Let's see. What can you offer as a referral fee? I would what I would say in the email, I would say, highest referrals possible, or I'm sorry, the highest referrals in town, right? That's a good hook, right? Because you're not being specific. But I would not be shy about 25 or 30% even. The 5% is not going to move the needle, but to someone's perception, be like, yeah, I pay a 30% referral fee, as opposed to a 25% on a $40,000 transaction, let's say, right? Something on the small-ish side. $40,000 transaction. 5% is what? 5% on 40,000. What's that? It's $2,000 difference between paying a 25% referral and a 30% referral. Who cares? You know why? Because you get to keep, the other 70%. You get to keep 28,000 of that. So I wouldn't even worry about it. Is that right? 7 times. Yeah, 28,000. So of the 40,000, you get to keep 28,000. The other person gets 12,000. Guess what? You didn't have to prospect. You didn't have to cold call. You didn't have to nurture. You got someone that raised their hand and is ready, willing, and able to transact. That is worth 12,000 out of 40,000 to me. So does that make sense? Does that help all of them? Ryan says, do these points bullets fit for business sales or just specifically for commercial property? Absolutely. Yeah, because if you think about it, a business, if someone's looking to sell their business, all you're trying to do is get out and contact people, reach out to people. Because guess who owns businesses? People own businesses, right? So it's very, very important just to get your name out there, contact people, shake hands, kiss babies, just like politicians. That's what they do, because politics is a contact sport, right? Real estate is a contact sport. You want to get out and you want to speak to and interact, because all things being equal, the people that if you touch base with someone once, they're gonna and they remember it. It was a pleasant or memorable interaction. Guess what? They're gonna hang in there. And if you reach out to them a year from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, he seemed like really nice. He's really pleasant, as opposed to a stranger, right? So Alan says 40 or 50% referral is better than exactly. I love that mindset. He says 40 or 50% referral is better than 0% of nothing, right? So I always say I'd rather have half of something than all of nothing. That's a really, really good point. Like I said before, finding that person that's ready to transact, that's like 2/3 of the equation. So even if you're paying a 30 or a 40% referral, you're still underpaying them for the amount of value that they brought, okay? I promise you, right? So great questions, guys. Keep them coming, for real. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do, okay? I'm going to challenge you to take any one of the previous items in the next 7 days and implement them. The reason why I want you guys to implement now, not next week, not next month, not next year, is because there's a 22% if you listen, if you can implement, right? Or I should say, if you listen, will you be able to retain it, right? There's like 44% if you listen and you take notes, okay? There is an 88% chance of you remembering if you listen, you take notes, you interact with the information, and then you implement it. 88% chance that you're going to remember this, okay? So the reason why I say immediate is because next week is too late. Tomorrow, if you still have time left, maybe you're on the West Coast, do it today, okay? I want you to get out there and implement this stuff, even if it's just go to your LinkedIn and polish up your LinkedIn profile. Even if you just change your email signature, even if you just send one item out that's going to help you, one email blast that's going to be for your monthly newsletter or whatever. Just get the process started, okay? Level 2 of the challenge is going to be to take any 3 of the previous items, okay, and execute on them in the next 7 days. By the way, if you guys want a copy of that checklist, type checklist in the comments, and I'll go ahead and make sure that we get you one out in the next couple of days, okay? Actually, we'll probably get it for the most part tomorrow. But just type checklist in the chat if you want to. That way, I know. Hopefully, you guys were taking notes. But if you, in the event you weren't, I can send you out like a PDF of that checklist. So go ahead and type checklist in the chat. All right. Level 3 of the challenge is to take 5 of the previous items and execute on them in the next 7 days. And level 4, okay. And if you hate money, don't do it. But level 4 is to take 10 to 15 minutes a day over the next 7 days, right? And execute on these items, okay? So again, make sure you, and we'll be sending, I see Lisa says checklist to your email. We'll just go ahead and send it to you via Facebook Messenger, but thanks for letting us know. But by the way, guys, all this is the very first step of many in a commercial transaction. What I do here, if you look at the icon in the top right, CRE Basic Training, that's my company. This is what we do. This is what we help people. We guide you through the process of learning from step 1 all the way through mastery, how to sell commercial properties. I've broken it down into a 6-month training program where we teach you how to lease. We teach you how to sell. We teach you how to represent sellers, represent buyers, how to value properties, demystify cap rates, help you understand how to put a price tag properly on a property without just guessing, throwing like a dartboard at a dart at a dartboard blindly, right? We also teach you the marketing, the branding, how commercial agents do all their stuff, because there's a lot of differences between the residential side and the commercial side because we interact mostly business to business. So what I would recommend doing, if you guys are interested, just put training down on the bottom. If you're interested and want to hop on a call, I can talk to you a little bit more about our training program. Like I mentioned, we'll take you all the way from step 1 all the way to the point where you'll be able to lease, sell commercial properties, understand valuation, and all the steps in the equation through our curriculum. Brian says, what kind of bio should you put on LinkedIn? Brian, I would invite you to check out my profile on LinkedIn. Not to say it's the best one ever, but I have actually consulted multiple people that really specialize and do a lot on LinkedIn. And I asked them to give me feedback. So check it out. I'm pretty pleased with where it is. So it's Christian N. Peter, the second CCIM is how my name appears on LinkedIn. So check that out. You'll see, obviously name, email, phone, and then I talk about who I help. What my perfect clients look like, what some of their pain points are, the issues that they're dealing with. And what you want to do is when someone's reading your LinkedIn profile, you want them to be like, yes, they call that self-identifying. Yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, that's me. Ooh, yeah, that's me. Right? So you want to write your profile for your perfect, what they call avatar, which is like your ideal client, like the 80% of the people that you would love to work with, you'll see. So go ahead and check out my LinkedIn profile. Okay. So if you guys want any more information, like I said, on the 6-month training program, go ahead and type training down below. And if you don't have any more questions, I look forward to seeing you. I see some of my students are on here. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow and Wednesday night in our trainings. And if not, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hop on. I'll be on next Monday live at 5. Keep coming. Keep asking questions. This Thursday, we have a new training video coming out, so be on the lookout for that in the group. We'll be releasing that. I think you're really going to like it. And we'll go from there. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and I will see you same time next week. Signing off.